October 2018. Oregon, USA. Daniel Harper had always been a logical man. At 32 years old, he worked as a radio technician, repairing communication towers in remote areas. He didn't believe in ghosts, spirits, or anything supernatural. To him, everything had an explanation. One cold afternoon, his manager handed him a file. Blackwood Forest Radio Station, his manager said quietly. Daniel flipped through the papers. The station had been abandoned since 1987. Why was it closed? Daniel asked. His manager hesitated. There were reports. Reports of what? His manager looked at him. Strange signals. Voices. Daniel laughed. Probably interference. His manager didn't laugh. Just fix the tower and come back before dark. But Daniel didn't listen to the last part. He grabbed his equipment and drove toward Blackwood Forest. As he entered the forest, his phone signal disappeared. The deeper he drove, the darker it became. The trees were tall and dense, blocking the sunlight. It felt like the forest didn't want him there. Finally, he saw it. The station. An old building stood alone in the middle of the forest, with a rusted radio tower rising behind it like a dead skeleton. Daniel stepped out of his jeep. And for the first time, he felt uneasy. Inside, the air smelled old and rotten. Dust covered everything. Broken chairs. Dead monitors. Silence. Daniel set up his portable generator. When he turned it on, the lights flickered weakly, then stabilized. He sat in front of the main radio console. Everything seemed dead. Then suddenly, the radio turned on by itself. Static filled the room. Daniel frowned. He hadn't touched it. Then he heard it. A voice. Weak. Broken. Hello? Daniel froze. He leaned closer. This is Daniel Harper, he said carefully. Who is this? Silence. Then suddenly, a loud, distorted scream exploded from the radio. Daniel jumped back in shock. His heart was racing. He quickly turned the radio off. The room fell silent again. But now it didn't feel empty anymore. It felt watched. Night came faster than he expected. The forest outside turned completely black. Daniel decided to stay the night and finish repairs in the morning. At 12:17 a.m., he heard footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Outside. Daniel stood up slowly. His breathing became shallow. He walked to the window and looked outside. Nothing. Just darkness. He turned away. Then, a shadow moved across the window. Daniel froze. He turned back quickly. Nothing was there. His hands trembled slightly as he grabbed his flashlight and stepped outside. The forest was silent. Too silent. Then he heard it. Behind him. A whisper. Daniel. He spun around. No one was there. But he knew one thing for certain. He was not alone. Back inside, Daniel searched through old records. He found a file. Michael Reeves, the last radio operator, disappeared, October 31st, 1987. Daniel read the final report. Operator reported hearing voices through the radio. Claimed someone was calling him. Last transmission ended in screaming. Daniel felt cold. Then suddenly, the radio turned on again. He hadn't touched it. The voice returned. Clearer now. Daniel. Help me. Daniel's blood froze. How do you know my name? He whispered. The lights flickered violently. Then, bang. The door slammed open. But no one was there. Only darkness. Then, footsteps. Inside the room. But there was no body. Only sound. Something invisible was walking toward him. The temperature dropped instantly. Daniel could see his breath. The lights flickered rapidly. Then, he saw it. In the corner. A shape forming from darkness. Tall. Thin. Humanoid. But wrong. It had no face. No eyes. No mouth. Only black emptiness. It moved slowly toward him. The radio screamed with static. Stay with me. Daniel couldn't move. His body was frozen in terror. The entity came closer. 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 Daniel suddenly snapped out of it. He turned and ran. He shut off the generator. Everything went black. He ran outside and jumped into his jeep. His hands shook as he started the engine. In the rearview mirror, he saw it. Standing in the darkness. Watching him. He drove away as fast as he could. And never looked back. The next morning, Daniel was safe in his apartment. He tried to convince himself it wasn't real. It was stress. Exhaustion. Nothing more. Then his phone rang. Unknown number. He answered slowly. Silence. Then, the same voice. You left me. The call ended. Daniel stood frozen. Then, behind him, his radio turned on. By itself. Static filled the room. Then a whisper. I'm still here. The lights went out. Darkness swallowed everything. And Daniel realized. Some signals never stop. The end.